What's up YouTube? I'm your host Hackman, and in today's episode I'll be reviewing a 2021 GLE 450 4MATIC. Let's find out if Mercedes is still the king of luxury. Be sure to like and subscribe the video and hit that notification button so you don't miss any of our future videos. The front on it looks a little confused. I find they were trying to go for an aggressive look, but it kind of looks unhappy. I don't think it worked out for Mercedes that well. This model does have the flared fenders, the AMG package, so 5-spoke 20-inch rims, the front bumper, the rear bumper, flared arches. When you look at it from the side, I think it looks really good, like the running boards on it and the flared arches on the side. Just, I think they nailed it on the side, but for me personally, it's the rear that does the trick. It has these nice vents on the bumper, on the rear. The tail lights look sharp. I think this is probably the best profile of this vehicle. Moving on to the interior, you really appreciate a Mercedes-Benz when you open the door for the first time and sit inside this cabin. It feels like a futuristic spaceship with this big giant tablet. The touchscreen on this thing is really responsive. It's actually really good, but I hardly used it since I like using the trackpad that Mercedes has. From the seats to the soft plastic to all the control buttons that it has, the steering wheel, everything just feels top notch. One of my favorite things on this was the ambient lighting that they have. It looks really good and you can actually change the colors on it at night. Didn't get a chance to do a night shot on it, but it just looks really good. The way it's lit, the way the display is, it's crystal clear. You appreciate these cars more because you spend a lot of time inside these cars, commuting from work and back. Your decision is validated when you sit inside this cabin every day, going to work and coming back home, because you spend most of your life in a car. GLE does have some tough competition when you talk about the big three. By big three, it means the Germans. When it comes to performance, the Q7 and the X5 do have 335 horsepower compared to 362 horsepower. The GLE and the Q7 are still very close matched when it comes to picking up speed, and the X5 outshines both of them. They can go north of 100,000 depending on the options that you put on these. This 450 has almost every option that Mercedes has, apart from the air suspension, which is one of the most expensive ones. I don't see the need of an air suspension on this model because the ride on it is very soft and comfortable. It's softer than the Q7 and the X5. It does compromise a bit on the handling when compared to the four-wheel steering Q7 and the BMW X5. Obviously, we all know that handling is of the utmost importance for BMW. For those of you who are not familiar with Alberta roads, they are on the rougher side, so road noise does play a part in most vehicles, but in this Mercedes I can hardly hear the noise even though it's a windy day out. Which one of the three Germans would you pick if you had the choice, since pricing is very well matched in all three? Would you pick the Mercedes, the Audi, or the BMW? Let me know in the comment section. Yeah, definite lag. Yeah, but vicious changes. So I'm mashing the pedal, sports mode. not bad. You can hear the turbo spool, which is quite amazing. The engine on this is a 3-liter inline 6 twin scroll turbo engine mated with a 9-speed automatic, and it also has a 48-volt integrated starter generator. Essentially, what it does is it eliminates all the drive belts in the engine, so this engine does not have any belts of any sort. And it also provides an additional 21 horsepower to the vehicle when you need it. In Mercedes terms, this technology, the mild hybrid technology that's coming out these days in most cars, is called EQ Boost. It is still very respectable when it comes to the handling. When you talk about the things I like in this Mercedes, starting from the seats, that's probably one of my favorite features. As you sit in it every day, you're driving, the initial impression that you get when you sit on these seats is comfort galore. It's just the perfect blend of comfort and sportiness on these. It hugs you so well, and you can adjust all of that in your driver's interface. Another thing I love about it is these handlebars. Now, a lot of people will probably think, what a waste of space, but it is good for the passenger if you're doing some spirited driving, because this thing, although it is quite heavy, it can still handle. What I really like about this car is that it's highly customizable. You can change from manual shifting to displays. There's a lot of features you can change in this car to whatever your needs are. And you can just set up your profile so that it doesn't, when you sit in the car, it recognizes your profile, and then you don't have to look back after that. Trackpad, it's very easy to use. I didn't find myself using the touchscreen at all because the trackpad is in such a good position for me to use, and then all the buttons that you need are laid out really well. Mercedes got the cup holders right on this because they have a lot of space between where the cup holders are and where your climate control buttons are, so you can still fit in a larger bottle without touching the control buttons on there. And it's also heated and cooled if you want to keep your drink hot or cold. You appreciate these things more when you're taking these cars daily on a long trip, and if you drink coffee or lots of water and you have a big water bottle, you start to like these things because they can be an annoyance. So it's changing the speed again because it detects the speed going down. So a good vehicle to have for those of you who don't pay attention to the road that much. The things I don't like about this GLE in particular, the second row is adjustable, but it takes a long time to really go down, and it's automated. So when you hit the button, it takes a long time to go down so that someone can go in the third row. When it's being pushed, I find it is a little bouncy, and you do feel the body roll on it, especially on turns at higher speeds. Now again, it's not a sports car, it's an SUV, but I just sometimes find that it's good to push them a little bit. It's not a slouch by any means. I just think that when you're driving the X5 especially, X5, the tune on it is much more responsive between this and the Q7, and they've kind of become a staple in North America because you can have the family in there and at the same time do some spirited driving. It's hard for me to make a decision on which one I would pick because In terms of power, in terms of handling, in terms of interior, they're all very close to each other. Mercedes still the king of luxury? I think it is. It still outshines the Q7 and the X5 when it comes to the interior cabin. The Q7 has a good interior, but it looks more simplistic compared to this Mercedes. The X5 also has a good interior. When you compare those two interiors to this Mercedes, I do think that the Mercedes does look nicer from inside, and it's more comfortable than the Q7 and the X5. Apart from that, they're very close in performance, so it's all a matter of what you're looking for. If you're looking for more comfort, a cabin that's a little better than the competition, the Mercedes is a very good choice. If it's a matter of price point for you, they're all pretty comparable because it all depends on the options that you want in the car. They can go north of 100,000. The driver assistance package in these, all three cars have a good driver's assistance package, and you really can't go wrong with either. It's a matter of personal preference. This is a tough choice between the three because I don't know which one to pick. Which car would you pick? The Mercedes, Audi, or the BMW? That's all for today's episode, guys. See you guys next week. Hackman out.